Hey guys, back from my metal detecting at the beach. Really a regular vacation, so it's kind of staying at one spot and just hitting, a couple miles of one beach. Spent most of the daytime with my friends, and it's kind of the CZ70 Pro is the detector I use mostly. It's supposed to be splash resistant. We're going to find out. It did really good at the beach. There's the AT Pro. I used it some. A little in the wet sand, dry sand. And let my friends use this one some. And I got a bucket full of finds. There's really this trip worked out great. As you're going to get to see, there were some low spots in the sand where I was at. I was at Oak Island, North Carolina. Had a great time. That's what I love about this AT Pro. You can just wash it. This shaft gets pretty sticky out on the beach, so you got to kind of spray in these holes and get all the sand out. Did a lot of dry sand hunting with this one. It's just so much lighter. The CZ70 and this bigger coil, it's pretty heavy. First day or so, it was killing me. I got used to it pretty quick though. I mean, you can mount this. It's got some spots where you can mount this to a belt or something, but I guess I'd have to, find the adapter for that. But it's splash resistant. I'm just gonna kind of give it a quick rinse and hopefully, I mean, this thing is ancient though. Hopefully that hasn't hurt this any. Yeah, still coming on. Great. That's my gear. Here's my sand scoop. It's been a great scoop here. Did my hunting at night, and right now I'm using a new camera. I have one of the Play Sport cameras, and it is just absolutely terrible in the dark. I mean, I tried to get some footage. It just doesn't do well. I mean, you really just couldn't see anything. So I ended up focusing mostly on just detecting. And when I first got there, I checked out the Tidal charts. In the first hunt, the tide was at 1 a.m. and then, it kind of varies about an hour each day. Then it was 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. And so I just kind of do it. Get up and set the clock. And if you can see here is a ton of lead. Just an absolute ton of lead. And a lot of this lead is worn. So some of these cuts in tidal pools, I was kind of hunting those areas and at the water's edge, and just pulled lots of heavy stuff. I mean, just crazy amounts of sinkers. A lot of these still have the eyelet on them, but you can see a lot of them, the numbers are worn down. And some of them are a little bit newer. Just getting just an absolute ton of lead sinkers. And you can see this one is really corroded. It's been down there forever. I mean, more and more lead. I'm not exactly sure. And then here's a really pretty cool one. It's got these little anchor things that will hold it in the sand, and I guess if you get snagged, if you pull hard enough, it'll pop loose and you can retrieve it. But, you know, this was at Oak Island where some of the shark attacks had happened, and you know, I didn't see any of that. I guess your chances of probably winning the lottery are better than getting attacked by a shark. But there's a junk ring. Good shape I found. Found one bracelet that was wearable and it got confiscated. So can't really show you that one. It's like a dog tag and an earring. Somebody's key. Hair clip. A lot of this stuff came out of these tidal pools, and I had one of the Coleman head flashlights, I guess you'd call it. It's like an LED light you strap onto your head, and you can tilt it, and it's adjustable, and that really worked out great. I could see where I was walking. I could see where I was digging. Some more lead. Let's get through here and see if I can pick out coins. I got quite a few. Never did tally these up. And hitting these low spots was finding a lot of stuff. And got a sackage away $1. So there's $4.50 in quarters. And some of these things look like they'd been in there a long time. Really long time. I know if you find, you know, quarters, keep looking, especially when they look like they've been there for a while. You're hitting a deep spot. Look, here's a bicentennial. Ah, there's another quarter, $4.75. And just a bunch of dimes and pennies, more lead, like part of some kind of earring, some kind of little pendant. Must be made out of junk metal. You can see the corrosion, a little bit of rust. Spinner. Some other kind of small. Which is funny, I don't see a hole in this. Lead ball. Let's see if I can find some nickels here. Is that another quarter? $5 in quarters. Bunch of dimes and pennies. Here's nickels. 11 nickels. And I primarily did hunt with the CZ70. I got a couple hours on the AT Pro, and I can't remember exactly what I found with it. I mean, it was working fine, but I got this CZ off eBay. You know, I've heard a lot about CZs being dual frequency, working good in the salt water, and it really did. really did work good in salt water. I mean, I was digging some crazy deep stuff. And I'd found one weedy 1952 wheat scent. But now it's time to see the stars of the show. This was the best vacation beach hunt I've had. Start off with the silver cross necklace. Nice little piece I found in the tidal pool. Had to dig down a couple scoops for this. It says, "I am a Catholic, please call a priest." It does say sterling. I don't know if you can make out that detail, but you guys have probably seen that silver kind of tarnishes black in the salt water. But the detail on this is pretty good, so I'm going to try and dip this one and see what happens. Set that to the side. And now for the finale. Both of these rings were found on my first night detecting. About 2 feet from the low water mark. 14K in this one, if you can see that. Here's another 14K. I mean, these are huge. This must have been a couple pretty big dudes, especially this one. You know, one of the guys at work with thought this was the Sauron's ring or something from Lord of the Rings. He's like, "Man, that's huge." I mean, fits on my thumb. Massive. 2 massive gold rings. This one does have some engraving. It's got 214 2008, Delight of My Heart, MRL, and WJK. So I might see if I don't know, look that up and see if I can find out whose this was. I mean, it's obviously somebody's wedding band. I mean, maybe I can look up 214 2008 and see if there was a wedding actually pops up on the net somewhere. But, you know, that's a huge 14K. Weighed these 2 rings, and it's 20 grams. So, I mean, they're honkers. Big, heavy rings. So this was, turned out to be, I really lucked out that the conditions were in my favor this year at the beach. I mean, I've been many, many times, and, you see the beach as just a long, steady slope, and you metal detect it and you just find some of the recent lost stuff, jewelry and junk like that. Usually don't find that many sinkers and cores and stuff. You find lots of pull tabs and dimes, and in the dry sand, usually you're gonna get some quarters and stuff like that. But this was down in the very, very wet sand with this CZ70, and it was killing it. Just absolutely killing it. One thing about it I noticed is, I don't know if it's because there's like no mineralization hardly at all. It really wouldn't ground balance. I tried a couple different methods, it just wouldn't do it. So I do is just kind of hit the preset on the ground balance and put it in the salt mode. You got a normal and salt on here. The sensitivity ended up having to run on 4, and when you adjust the sensitivity on this thing, it's one of the drawbacks of this digital style is it just goes from 4 up to like 7. Maybe it's like 5 to 7. That's when I'd kind of wish I had a little bit finer adjustment, because when you go up and I guess the line's around 7, it's chattery. 4 was super, super quiet on the beach. I mean, not a peep of false signal. And makes me think I could have squeezed, you know, maybe a little bit more out of it. You know, I was getting really, really good depth anyway, but it would be kind of nice to have just a little bit, you know, to know you've got it right on the ragged edge of stability. And this does have a backlight, which was kind of nice. If you wanted to look at the display, I mostly just paid attention to the tones, and it was pretty much, if it was above iron, I dug it. You've got this notch, and you can eliminate you know, categories, and I did notch out the iron and dug everything else. I did get a bunch of trash and stuff, and I threw it away, but pretty much if I could get a signal, I was digging it, and it paid off. The 2 rings ended up being, you know, about 8 inches deep. Each one was pretty close to 8 inches, and they were just absolutely banging loud. I mean, like they were laying on the surface. So really, really impressed with this old machine, CZ70 Pro. Crazy. I think you look at that, it's a brand new coil, just being in the salt mist. A little bit of rust there. I'll maybe clean that up with a Scotch-Brite or something, and maybe put a little WD on there. But for the age of this machine, the depth on this is amazing. I've tested this on you know, for land hunting, and it's crazy deep. It's still just crazy deep. The only drawback really is the weight, and you know, the recovery speed is nothing like the newer Fishers. I mean, they really beat up on this guy in that. But you know, I've been waiting forever for Fisher to put out a new multi-frequency machine, and that's kind of, you know, you hear rumors and stuff, but nothing yet's materialized on that. And after this trip, you know, it really motivated me to get a better setup, and you know, I decided to pick up this GoPro. I'm going to see how that works. I really do like the way, you know, the panoramic view and durability compared to the Play Sport. There's just way more options for mounting this thing. And I'm at my house right now on the street. There's a lot of shit driving, or the cars driving by, sorry. And yeah, really, really, really happy with this. You know, I keep thinking about that, getting a dedicated water machine like the CZ21, but you know, I just haven't seen a lot of comparisons against, you know, there's just not a whole lot of good footage on YouTube. I'd love to get my hands on one and be the guy to really see how it does. And you know, it's either that or the Excalibur, you know. It's probably what I was looking at, you know, in the same price range. I noticed the CZ21 has actually gone up in price. I think for a while they're around $1,200, and now they're $1,499. Same price as the Excalibur. So I'm probably going to research that one a while. But this was definitely a good way to get by and have some of the best performance I've had at the beach is getting one of these CZs off eBay. I mean, I'd say, you know, a 3D, CZ5, 6A, whatever you can get your hands on. You still got the, you know, the same technology, the dual frequency and salt cancellation. You know, you just have to watch if you get one of the, like a 3D or the CZ5 or something, because they've got, you know, the analog display and stuff, and that's not water resistant. So, you know, but you'd still be fine. I've used plenty of detectors and stick the coil in a tidal pool. I wouldn't, you know, go out into the waves, you know, like you can with the AT Pro. I was planned on using the AT Pro a little bit more. I've done a couple trips with that and had pretty good luck. I mean, you know, it's not the deepest in the saltwater sand. I mean, I did, you know, the test last time, and you could pick up something at 8 inches deep, which is really, really respectable for a, you know, single frequency. And actually, I think on the rings and stuff I found it would have been fine. I just happened to be using the CZ that night. The AT Pro should have hit those big rings no problem. So it turned out to be a really great hunt. And you know, night hunting ended up being awesome. I just wish that I would have had the camera to capture it, you know. And you know, I tried, and it's just all you really saw was blackness. I mean, if I shined a flashlight right on something, you could see maybe an item right in my hand, but you couldn't really see the hunting. And I kind of had it tried mounting it on the stem of my detector with an offset mount. It was just kind of becoming a hassle. So I think this is going to end up being the best option. But I got to give these credit to the CZ70. Definitely going to be doing a lot of research into the beach detectors. And I'm hoping to get back down there in a couple months. It's been a really, really busy summer. I've been working, you know, I have a full-time job, but you end up working more than that, kind of in management, and end up covering a ton of shifts and stuff when people are missing. And there's been a whole lot going on this year. Whole lot going on. I've just worked and worked and worked and worked. Finally got to take this vacation, and that's really the first good decent metal detecting I've done in a while. And I mean, I was so gung-ho that, yeah, I was setting an alarm for, you know, 3 a.m. and just running out there by myself. And you know, fortunately, Oak Island's a family type beach, and you really don't have anything to worry about. I was the only person out there, so didn't have to worry about getting mugged or anything, which is pretty nice. And turned up a pretty good pile. I'd say the CZ, which I didn't pay a whole lot for on eBay, it's paid for. You know, technically I'm not going to sell these. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to maybe look, you know, I'm definitely going to look for this person. But you know, technically speaking, it paid for itself first trip. So may end up trying it again, but I'm looking at the Excalibur. I'm looking at the CZ21, looking for something I'd love to get out a little bit deeper in the water with, which I really didn't do with this one. I mean, it's splash proof. I went out to about knee deep in those pools, and it did fine. If any of you guys got any experience with either one of those machines, I'd like to know which one you like the best, and why you think one's better than the other. Definitely appreciate the feedback on that, because that's a pretty big investment. And I definitely want the one that's going to be, you know, the most sensitive to jewelry, and it's primarily the, you know, the main concern, and then you know, ergonomics and stuff will be a secondary concern. But thanks for watching. There's more to come. Things are kind of settling down, so I'm going to get a whole lot more treasure hunting going on again. I've got some other footage I need to post up where I found some more rings with my F75 and park hunting here in North Carolina. I'm going to be posting that up, and had a few requests for some depth tests and stuff like that, and going to be digging a new test garden. I do a vlog on that, and so talk about why I think everybody should have one. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Super stoked about this gold. Can't wait till this fall. Gonna get some more. Happy hunting, everybody.